What's up, guys? As promised, today on this lovely Friday is another Q&A session. I got some great questions posted to my Instagram page at Taylor Cummings Lacrosse, and I'm gonna answer a couple of them right now. A lot of them have to do with US, which is fitting because that starts in only a couple weeks. So Caroline Conway asked, what are USA practices like? And it kind of depends, the practice schedule and intensity sort of depends on whether it's pregame, whether it's one of the ones that we have on 2-a-days or 3 days. So it kind of varies. Most of the time they're really intense, really high energy. We don't get together a lot, so when we are together, we try to put our best foot forward and make those 2 hours, 2.5 hours that we're on the field together the best we can be, because we want to continue to get better with every single time we're together. Julie de Blasio asked, what is the most embarrassing thing that's happened to me on the field? I fall a lot, so that's pretty embarrassing, but my very first practice at Maryland, we were scrimmaging and I accidentally tripped over Katie Schwartzman. I got us both tangled in our feet and I made us both splat on the field. And Katie had just won the Twarton a couple of months earlier and she's the best player in the country. So everyone was concerned about her naturally, and I was just the dumb, mean freshman who took her out. So that was pretty embarrassing, especially because I was a freshman, but we can laugh about it now. eSpurdy03 asked, what was the hardest thing that I had to learn? What did I struggle with learning the most? I think initially it was just catching and throwing using my left hand, just like most people. I was much more comfortable with my right hand than with my left hand growing up. So kind of making that transition into from being a one-handed player into being able to use both my hands was definitely hard for me to figure out, especially because I wasn't playing all the time. I had other sports to play. Proctor Pack asked, what's the hardest thing about leaving to train for USA and then having to run clinics all across the country? In terms of specifically with training, I think it's hard just to get in a rhythm and get in a routine because I'm always in different gyms. I don't know whether the hotel gym that I'm in will have a certain thing. So that's always tough, to just kind of having to adjust my workouts accordingly and fit them into times where I can't always get the most out of them. Like in a couple days, I have a 6 a.m. flight, so I'm gonna have to get up at like 4 a.m. and do a quick workout, and then I'm busy all day. So that's sort of the toughest thing, is just not having a consistent space to work out in. Chels __ asked, how hard did I have to work to make Maryland and US? And I had to work really hard. Those extra reps that people sort of talk about all the time, doing things when nobody's watching, getting out and running. I ran a lot, especially once I got into college. I did extra runs, I did extra wall ball. I watched a lot of lacrosse to kind of help. I'm a very visual learner, so it helped me kind of see not only what I was doing, but just other games, just to kind of learn the strategy. But I've dedicated the past 10 years or so to the sport to get as good as I can be and to help my teams be as good as they can be. Ellie Lippy asked, when did I realize lacrosse was a sport I wanted to play more than one season? I would have to say around 7th grade or 8th grade, I had to kind of make the decision of what sport I wanted to focus on the most in terms of club. I still played soccer, basketball, and lacrosse for McDonough in high school, but that extra practices after school, practices on the weekends, club tournaments, I had to decide between soccer, basketball, and lacrosse. And I chose lacrosse rather, like 7th or 8th grade, I want to say. Megan Trainer asked, what's your biggest advice for a midfielder going from middle school across to high school? I think the biggest change is just the speed of the game gets a lot faster, and you typically run for longer runs. So to make sure that you're as in shape as you can be, that's when you can start to kind of go for your more long distance runs. especially if your team doesn't sub a lot. So for middle schoolers, even ninth graders, I don't think you need to be running like 4 or 5 miles, even just a mile or two will sort of help you get your endurance up. The last question's from Nat Newman 24. She asked how to get to the US level after D1, D2, or D3. For her, it was specifically D3. I think the biggest thing is just to work hard. There's so many people who aspire to be on this team, but it's the ones who do the extra, put in the extra effort, try to hone in on their skills as much as possible, and just have fun with it. Those are the ones who are ultimately successful. So thanks for watching. That was another round of Q&A. You guys had great questions. Please keep thinking of questions to ask me, because I'll be sure to do another one either right before I leave for England or during it. So if you have any questions about World Cup, how it works, US team, I'll be sure to answer those then. So thanks, bye.